This is News 6 Tonight.
A string of robberies in several counties may be cracked tonight with the arrest of 3 people by Bluefield police. Good evening. Mercer County Sheriff's officials first spotted the suspect's car, a stolen vehicle, around the Lorton Lick Road area around 7:15 tonight. They put all other local law agencies on alert shortly after. Then just after 8 tonight, the Rite Aid pharmacy in Bluefield, Virginia was robbed. 2 Bluefield, West Virginia police officers stopped the vehicle. The main suspect fled on foot up East River Mountain, but was captured by police. This unidentified woman is also a suspect, along with another man. But the main suspect is 29-year-old Donald Lee Coleman of the Oak Hill area. He's being interrogated right now about his possible role in other robberies recently. Police feel confident that Coleman may be responsible for several recent robberies in several counties in West Virginia and Virginia.
We were afraid should this continue, someone might be hurt. And I think it was excellent police work and excellent cooperation between all the departments involved.
The 3 suspects are being questioned right now. Bluefield Police, the Mercer County Sheriff's Department, and state police in West Virginia and Virginia worked together tonight on that case. A truck heading to Mullins yesterday is still missing tonight. Police say it was carrying more than 700 cases of liquor. State police say a tractor-trailer carrying the alcohol left Nitro around 4 a.m. yesterday. It would have arrived at the Mullins Rite Aid by 8:30 yesterday morning. No one has heard from the truck's driver. Police searched the West Virginia Turnpike, have not found the driver nor the truck. The truck has a white trailer that says Kanawha Cartage on the side. Now here's Stan with a look at tonight's weather. How's it shaping up right now, Stan?
Well, it doesn't look bad out there. Temperatures...
Okay, thanks, Dan. And coming up, search efforts continue for a group of people missing after an avalanche in Montana. The story and more when the news continues. It's been a day of giving and receiving as taxpayers try to get in their last chances for tax breaks. Reasons for giving are both altruistic and practical. A change in the tax law, a bullish stock market, and resurrected art prices have made it advantageous for donors to give big and then receive in the form of big tax breaks. The big change is in the way the IRS tallies donations of property that increased in value for the donor. Police are out in full force tonight hoping to nab drunk drivers. Here's more with Glenn Willey.
As the clock strikes 12 in Mercer County, Glenn Willey, News Center 6.
Alcohol isn't the only thing that makes the roads dangerous this time of year. Cold weather also brings its share of troubles. Here's Keith Wilson with some tips on wintertime travel.
Car troubles can be compounded in the wintertime. Keith Wilson, News Center 6.
When WVU takes on Florida tomorrow, one local fan will be watching it from the Superdome thanks to a longtime friend. Arnold Porterfield, who was disabled after a fall 2 years ago, left for New Orleans early this morning along with his friend Charlie Smith. Smith says the two have been going to games since they met in 1955, and the Bluefield pair says they aren't letting Porterfield's disability keep them from enjoying their #1 pastime.
You know, I just like, I like to be at a game, the crowd, and they got good fans.
When Porterfield isn't watching WVU in person, he's watching tapes of the games in the Westwood Healthcare Center's activity room in Bluefield, Virginia. The White House is trying to ratchet down expectations about a Monday meeting on victims of radiation experiments. A senior White House official speaking anonymously says President Clinton is very concerned about the issue, but the official says Monday's session will be staff level only without cabinet rank officials or the president. The official says it's not a policy meeting. The interagency meeting with staff from the Departments of Energy, Defense, and Veterans Affairs, as well as NASA, will begin efforts to gather documents on Cold War-era experiments on humans. Some were done without the subject's knowledge or consent. A White House spokesman, Jeff Eller, says it's premature to talk about compensating the victims. He says first, officials have to find out just what happened. A search is underway for 6 snowmobilers caught in an avalanche in Montana. 2 people were rescued after a couple of hours. The avalanche occurred on a ridge in the Swan Range east of Kalispell in the northwestern part of the state. A sheriff's dispatcher in Flathead County says a helicopter, ski patrols, and trained dogs have been sent to help in the search. The dispatcher didn't have any information on the condition of the people who were rescued. In Evansville, Indiana, a young girl has found an unusual way to get around in the snow using 2 pretty common things. Reporter Joe Terrell caught up with the young girl and her dog.
Joe for NBC News.
And coming up, a check on the rest of that forecast. Don't go away. So no big plans for New Year's Eve tonight, huh?
Of course, it's supposed to be at a party tonight.
supposed
But
to
the
be.
way I've got this cold and everything like that, I probably wouldn't go anyhow.
Plus, you had to work.
Plus I had to work, yeah.
And it is a lot of work lately because we've had some really rough weather.
Oh, yes. Of course, like in my hometown of White Sulphur Springs, they had a lot more snow than we had
I
here.
noticed that. We were in Beckley.
They had tons.
Beckley had quite a bit more, too, I
Yeah.
noticed. Yeah.
So we don't know. He's sitting down here in Bluefield. He said, well, it's just been cold. But boy, they've had tons of them. And my wife says, well, you probably have a hard time getting parked because, you know, these slush makers, these
Yeah.
plows come by and whap and throw it all up on the sidewalk and everything like that.
On top of your car?
Yeah, on the side
Yeah.
of your car.
At least, though, they get through your roads, and that's the main thing, so you can get out.
That's the main thing, yeah. You
Yeah.
can't help it. They got to put it somewhere.
Is 94 going to see any better weather than what we had at the end of 93?
Oh, yes, there's going to be some really nice weather in 94, folks. It won't
Yeah.
be right away, though, because we're going to get started with snow.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Well, it won't be right away tomorrow, but I'll tell you about it in a few moments. Let's take a look at the almanac and show you the temperature spread now. Light snow showers likely with a high 34, overnight low 20. And then Tuesday, scattered snow showers coming back in there again, 32, 18 for the high low. New Orleans weather tomorrow. Are you ready? New Orleans weather. It's pretty nice indoors, of course. Where's the camera? Have we got a camera? All right, we don't have a camera. There it is. New Orleans weather tomorrow. Partly cloudy with a chance of showers in the afternoon. High somewhere around 62 degrees. Now, that's not bad. Of course, it's a little rough for them down there. They have thin blood, and it kind of upsets them a little.
Yeah, but the weather won't matter much inside the big
Not
dome,
inside the
so.
big dome. They won't have any problem
It
at
may
all.
get wet getting there, but
Yes.
the main thing is that the field will be nice and dry and
Oh,
ready for
that's right.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. And coming up in just a minute, we'll take a look at the Currents Classic highlights tonight. But first, here's a look at some scores from the top 25. Well, Woody's making a resolution to feel a little bit better. He is very, very ill right now. I'm not kidding. And I am going to be doing sports, so please bear with me. I did this several years ago, but I'm pretty rusty at it. Anyway, here we go. The nation's 4th-ranked NAIA squad went toe-to-toe tonight with the Bluefield State Big Blues for the championship of the 1993 Lions Club Currents basketball tournament in Bluefield tonight. Bluefield State came in 4-3 against the conference's preseason coach's choice, Salem Takeo. Here, Scott Meadows drains the jumper for the 3 to get the Blues started tonight. Then inside, it's Anthony Johnson, and Bluefield State leads 5-0. At the other end, though, watch as Aaron Harris takes the pass and gets the points. The Tigers continue to close the gap. Antoine Hatcher, a 6'10 sophomore, goes to the hoop and scores tonight. No final on this one yet, but Ohio Valley beat Bluefield College 102-93 for the consolation trophy. Well, the Virginia Tech Hokies proved to be the Big Ten and the rest of the nation that they are a team to be reckoned with today in Louisiana by blasting the Indiana Hoosiers. Let's pick it up with Indiana up 7-0 rather, when Maurice DeShazo finds Dwayne Thomas with the 13-yard touchdown strike, tying the game at 7 after the PAT. After Joe Swarm made it 14-7 on a 6-yard run, Indiana made it 14-13. And then with 23 seconds left in the first half, Lawrence Lewis takes this fumble, returned 20 yards for the score, 21-13 Virginia Tech. And then with 1 second left in the half, Antonio Banks took a blocked field goal attempt, 67 yards, to give the Hokies a commanding 28-13 lead at the half. There was no scoring in the third quarter, but in the fourth, first Antonio Freeman grabs this 43-yard scoring strike from DeShazo to make it 35-13 Virginia Tech. Touchdown Tommy Edwards added a 5-yard score, and head coach Frank Beamer gets the Gatorade dump. He, of course, loves it. The final score today, 45-20, Virginia Tech. Now, the big day is finally here, almost here for Mountaineer fans, just a few more hours, and Bowl fans everywhere. Mark Brown has our New Year's Day bowl game preview.
The New Year's Day bowling begins at 11 a.m. Enjoy your New Year's Day. Mark Brown, News Center 6 Sports.
I'll enjoy it when I'm done doing sports. And Woody, if you're watching, I hope you feel better. He really did just get ill moments before we were to go into the sports cast. So I hope you feel better, Woody. We'll be back in just a moment, recapping our top story, plus a look at Friday night feedback. And now to recap our top story, 3 people are in custody tonight after another robbery at the Bluefield Rite Aid in Bluefield, Virginia. Just after 8 tonight, the robbery took place. Two Bluefield, West Virginia police officers stopped the car. The main suspect fled on foot. This woman shown here is believed to be an accomplice in maybe 1 or more robberies. She is also accompanied by an unidentified man. The main suspect, though, is 29-year-old Donald Lee Coleman of the Oak Hill area, and he's being interrogated right now. Police are trying to find out if he's involved with any more robberies in the area. There have been countless robberies in our area over the past several months, and we should have more in the story for you, of course, on the Weekend Report tomorrow. Now, we'll close out the year with one last word from some of our viewers. Here's Friday Night Feedback.
There's one thing in this world that drives you nuts, makes you crazy, ticks you off. What is it?
Well, I guess it'd be these people out here.
And pricing across the state of
Well, that's the news. Thanks for bearing with us tonight, and have a good new year. That's it from all of us. Good night.
From the NBC studios.
Marina Bobbitt has been cleared of a malicious wounding charge for cutting off her husband's penis.
As Steve Handelsman reports, jurors believed her plea of insanity.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Lorena Lenore Bobbitt.
A suspect Bluefield police have been after for months is in custody tonight. Tim Dillow was nabbed by Bluefield, West Virginia police in front of Bluefield College. Dillow was wanted on charges of stealing checks and passing them off in Bluefield, West Virginia. Last October, when police tried to arrest him on those same charges, Dillow led police on a high-speed chase into Bland County, Virginia, where he took off on foot. Since he was arrested in Bluefield, Virginia, he's in the Tazewell County Jail tonight on $5,000 bond. Bluefield police say Dillow will be brought back into Mercer County, where he'll face up to the check charges. A TV cameraman in Huntington is the victim of a drive-by shooting. Charlie Hill, a 25-year veteran of WSAZ-TV in Huntington, was shot in the right temple during a drive-by shooting at a bar today. Hill, who was off-duty, was in the bar at the time of the shooting. Police say they do have a suspect in the case.
Well, time now to check in on the weather.
Pull out those summer clothes. It'll be all the way up into, what, the 30s tomorrow, Stan?
No. Oh, it does. Well, it sounds like...
And still to come, a Raleigh County family buries a relative.
And then finds out the state medical examiners kept the woman's skull in his office for 14 years. The story coming up. The cold weather is taking its toll on the coal supply. Coal supply is more than half the nation's electricity, and it's become hard to handle and transport in these very cold temperatures. A spokesperson for AEP, one of the nation's largest electric utilities, wouldn't say how many days' supply of coal the utility has at its plants, but there's no problem with coal shortages yet. But barge traffic handling coal has slowed to about 50% of normal.
The second chance at...
A Raleigh County family thought they buried their mother's remains in 1978, but 14 years later found out the state medical examiner had been keeping her skull in his office. The death of Ramona Fox remains a mystery, and that may be the reason the state medical examiners kept her skull for so long. Jessica Galati reports.
In 1978, when
key players in the Middle East peace process have arrived in Norway for talks tomorrow, but first they'll pay their final respects to the late Norwegian foreign minister who engineered secret talks between the PLO and Israel that led to last September's breakthrough peace accord.
But it's very suggestive.
Well, spring may seem far off, but it's just a runway away. Steffi Fields takes a look at some of the creations of some French design houses.
Steffi Fields, NBC, London.
I like my grandpa would say, some of those girls would catch a death of cold if they had to be in this kind of weather.
That's for sure. They are spring fashions, remember that.
They're in France.
That's true.
Right. Coming up, some
Actually,
good
London.
news. Oh, London?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, still coming up, some good news. Stan's forecast.
It's looking warmer and warmer. Don't go away. This weather has really been a hassle, hasn't it? I mean, going to the post office is a major deal when it's like it is, but it's starting to melt and it's getting better, so.
Thank goodness. You can't travel sometimes.
It takes a half an hour to get, you know, where it usually would take you 10 minutes to get someplace.
You noticed the days before, not much traffic on the road, but today, lots
everybody's
of traffic.
out and
You had any trouble getting around?
A little, yeah. Okay. Still out there, folks.
We all have, yeah.
But it's better. Let's take a look at the almanac and check on the temperature. 5 degrees. Boy, sounds good to me for a change. Anybody upset about that forecast?
I don't know. It looks a little too warm for me.
Maybe it's not going to be true. Maybe Mother Nature will change her mind.
Hey, forecasts are often not true, right?
How long is it going to be like that? You
No.
step out on a limb there?
No, she won't. It'll stay to warm up because we do have a high-moving winter jet stream is north of us, going to stick around for a while.
You shouldn't step out on a limb because the limbs would snap in this cold.
That's right.
That's
yeah,
right.
I heard about that.
They're snapping on their own anyhow, right?
I know it.
Okay.
And watch out for those icicles
too.
falling off your house.
That's right. Don't get under the icicles.
Oh,
see?
yeah.
Don't admire
that
them.
That stuff does happen. That actually does happen.
Happened to me in college once. A big chunk of ice hit me on the head.
You can put a knot on your head.
That's what's wrong. Oh, no, never mind.
Funny.
You can see it right there.
Moving right along to our sports teams. Thanks, Ken.
Just ahead in sports, high school basketball is back in the spotlight.
And a new twist has developed in the Nancy Kerrigan case, Woody.
Certainly has, Loretta. But first, we want to go to the world of the NBA basketball scoreboard.
And Woody Morgan now joins us with sports. A little of everything tonight. Spanish Bird, Montcalm, Beamer, Harding, what else? Southern Conference football even.
Everything but hockey, right?
Everything but hockey. You know what?
NASCAR.
I'd like to point out that, you know, if there are some folks out there that would like to see the hockey scores, and that's a good segue, I know this wasn't planned, but if you'd like to see those hockey scores, let us know, because we in this office are of the opinion that hockey doesn't matter.
Well, hockey is a neat sport, and they do have farm clubs in Huntington and Roanoke.
It is a big sport, but it seems like for the last 7 years that I've been here, there hasn't been a lot of interest in hockey.
Not much of a hockey league around here in Bluefield, anyway.
No, I guess not. But
So the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and so if they want to see hockey,
call 1-900-HOCKEY.
Yeah, squeak. Call in.
That's right. But we want to talk about basketball tonight, folks. In fact, as we reported yesterday, they have sent out those nominations, or at least the blanks, to name the members of the U.S. Olympic team by fax, and they're supposed to be back by the 26th of January. Also, the grand jury in Portland, Oregon did not choose to indict her today. Now, next week may be a different story. We're talking, of course, about Tanya Harding, but you know, anything's possible before they name that team.
Now, this is a federal grand jury, isn't it?
No, this is actually, they're not sure whether or not they're going to prosecute on federal charges. This is just a state charge.
Okay.
So we're still waiting.
That's for sure.
That's really something in that.
It really is.
I bet Frank Beamer, though, he's going to be elated.
Yeah,
well, you know, this time last year, Frank was worrying about where he was going to, you know, find money to buy beans and taters for the family. You know, at this time, he's probably...
I never was that bad.
Yeah, well, you know, he's eating steak and potatoes now.
Sure.
But a lot of these basketball teams in the area are really excited, too, that the ice is finally getting off the ground where they can get their games done.
Well, they are. I talked with one coach today, and he told me that he's going to have to play an average of 3 games a week for about 4 weeks. And so that's going to be difficult, because what happens there is that not only do you not have a chance to recuperate from playing those games, but what about injuries? If you get hurt in one ball game, then you may be out for 3 as opposed to just being out for 2.
A lot of wear and tear.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll be back in just a minute. Don't go away.
And finally, we have no school closings to tell you about.
What a shocker. That's the news. Have a good weekend.
Good night.
Tricky traveling out there tonight.
As most of the Mountain State tries to come to grips with its second snowstorm so far this year. Good evening. Right now, there are between 4 and 8 inches of snow on the ground, depending on where you live.
The state of emergency remains in effect tonight, along with a winter storm warning. Highway officials are telling drivers to stay off the roads if at all possible. There aren't too many places to go tonight. We did find a few catering to the hungry and those needing a warm place to stay. Domino's isn't sticking by its 30-minute guarantee anymore, and it can't even get you a pizza at all tonight. The restaurant, like many, closed shop early. Just down the street, one local fast food restaurant decided to stay open for 24 hours to feed utility and emergency employees working overtime.
You know, we're here, we want to be open in the morning because it inconveniences a lot of people when we have to close because of weather and we can't get our crew in. So we figure we're here, why not go ahead and stay? We've got volunteers, my crew have volunteered to camp out.
And these cots are on standby, ready for quick cat naps throughout the night. There isn't much activity in Bluefield tonight, and city police say it's a good thing. City streets and secondary roads are very dangerous tonight, and things will only get worse as the temperature continues to fall. It was the cold and this morning the rain and snow that forced this woman and her 3 young daughters from their home. Tonight they're staying at the Bluefield Salvation Army.
This morning I woke up and my bedroom floor was totally flooded with water, and my storage room, it had about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of water, and this makes twice in the past 2 weeks groundwater has seeped up through my floor.
Just we've had so much rain and snow.
Yeah, it's been really bad.
We have approximately 85 cots from the Army that they let us use. And we have some mattresses. We have the full gym if we need it.
Well, there are other shelters available tonight. The Princeton Salvation Army's open, also the Bluefield Union Mission.
Well, earlier today, things were looking pretty bad, too. And to top it all off, there's the threat of losing water service if you don't follow some very important guidelines.
A Monroe County woman clings to life tonight after her car ended up on its roof in the middle of a creek. 45-year-old Sharon Pence of Peterstown remains in intensive care at a Giles County hospital. The Peterstown Fire Department got a call at around 4 today that a car was upside down in Rich Creek. The accident happened on Rich Creek Valley Road off 219. Pence's car apparently slid on the ice-covered road when she attempted to cross a bridge. The car fell about 15 feet into the water. Francis says rescuers got her out of the water in about 5 minutes. Pence wasn't breathing when rescuers pulled her to shore, but they were able to resuscitate her at the scene using CPR.
Well, there's a long list of school cancellations and schedule changes for tomorrow.
That's for sure. Here are the ones that have been called in so far to us here at News Center 6. Buchanan, Russell, Tazewell, Fayette, Wyoming, and Pocahontas County schools are all called off for tomorrow. Late and Concord's Beckley classes are canceled. A long, long list of those tonight. Now here to tell us what the current conditions are and what to expect overnight.
Here's Stan Sweet with our first forecast. Stan?
Oh, yes, folks, it's quit snowing here.
In Los Angeles, authorities are reporting 29 deaths from this morning's earthquake.
It measured 6.6 on the Richter scale, and reporter John Gibson filed this report just moments ago.
The fires that were John Gibson reporting in L.A. Now back to you.
Well, here in the two Virginias, the rain earlier today made for dangerous driving. One tractor-trailer driver found that out firsthand. A truck headed on north on I-77 near Ingleside apparently skidded on a patch of ice, ending up in the southbound lane. He was taken to Princeton Community Hospital and treated for what rescue workers say were minor injuries. Traffic was backed up for about a mile while wreckers tried to clear the scene.
Well, if your power goes out during this storm, or if you know someone whose power is out right now, you may want to pass along some helpful advice from Appalachian Power.
Here are some recommendations. Call just once to report an outage because repeat calls jam phone lines. Also, report downed wires immediately and don't touch or move them.
And to prevent circuit overload, after power goes out, turn off controls to your heat, air, and electrical appliances. But leave one light switch on so you'll know when power is restored.
And don't plug portable generators into a wall outlet because if the electric current is fed back out, you could be injured or even killed.
Also, if you're warned ahead, fill your tub and spare containers with enough water to meet basic needs.
And finally, to keep food cold, freeze water in plastic jugs, then put them in the refrigerator and fridge. If you avoid letting air out, food-preserving temperatures in a fridge will last 24 hours, in a freezer 36 to 48 hours. We'll be right back.
Tonight.
Well, the bad weather hit earlier in McDowell and Wyoming counties than it did in others. In fact, conditions were so bad this morning that a main artery, Route 16, was closed for about 3 hours. We have this update from News Center 6's Keith Wilson.
The Wyoming County Sheriff's Department
stands up next with a look at our weather situation.
And later on, another look at those school cancellations. Well, Stan, we're hoping for some relief pretty soon because those folks over in Tazewell County, they're running out of salt for the roads. Very slick over there. They're having to bring salt in from other areas. I don't know if they've been able to get it yet. But
well, I've been put that suggestion to the National Weather Service, and maybe we'll get a little action out of that thing in the way of cutting off the snow. It stopped here. How about that? That's not much of a start.
That's right.
It may start again, though, folks. All right, let's take a look at the almanac and give you kind of an idea. Cold wave, gee. Well, anyhow, stay off the roads if you have a choice of whether you should drive or go out or not.
You were out earlier tonight. It really wasn't as bad as you might think, but it's still not good out there.
It's not good out there. I have front-wheel drive, so it helps me up some hills.
Some hills.
Yes, some hills, but boy, when they get steep, it just does like the rest of them.
Right, I think that's the main thing. In the flatter areas, you're okay, but once you start going uphill, and there's so many hills around here.
Right, and if somebody's in your way.
Somebody stopped in front of you. It kind of makes things a little bit difficult, doesn't it?
If somebody stops in front of you, you are stuck.
That's right.
Thanks, Stan. Just ahead in sports, an update on the Kerrigan-Harding story.
Plus the latest Mountain State hoop poll, right, Woody?
There's not many changes at the top, Bear, but we do.
Well, it's nice to see Nancy Kerrigan back on the ice, and she's actually talking about how she's doing, and it's more than we've known lately anyway.
You know, late last week she talked about getting back on the ice. In fact, that she said she doesn't hurt that badly. It's just that the muscle surrounding her leg is just a little swollen. But today, as she said, she is back on the ice, folks. In fact, the good news surrounding the attack on Nancy Kerrigan, it was lost. That's right, folks. Can't believe it. We lost last night, and that's all there is. There ain't no more, huh? We only missed by 3. Huh?
That's one game that might should have been canceled.
You led throughout the game, and then what happened at the end?
Well, much like Kansas, we lost. Fact is, Kansas, the #1 team in the nation, fell tonight to Kansas State 68-64.
All right. Thank you, Woody. We'll be right back with a look at those school cancellations. And finally tonight, another look at those school cancellations and schedule changes for tomorrow.
Here are the ones that have been reported to us so far. Also, Woody wanted to mention that if schools are off, then games are too. So, just so you know.
All right. Well, that's our time. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
You have been watching News.